Welcome to Music with Mrs. Avery. Hello everyone. We are going to start learning about composing rhythmic patterns. So when we compose, we are writing our own music. So we're going to start off simple in this lesson and work on just composing a measure at a time. So what I want you to do is start thinking about all of the notes that you have learned, and we are going to begin filling in this measure. Now, when we're composing, we always want to keep in mind how many beats will fit in a measure. And in this case, in this measure, we will have 4 beats because the time signature is 4/4, and we look at that top number. So let's think about some of these notes that we've learned. I want you to yell one out at me that you would like to use when we compose this measure. I heard quarter note. Excellent. So let's add a quarter note to this rhythm line. Now, when we're composing on a rhythm line, we have to draw the head of the note directly on the rhythm line itself. It should not be above or below. That is the incorrect placement of the note. The head of the note should be drawn directly on the line. So, a quarter note has the head that's colored in and the stem just like this. So now we have 1 beat in this measure. So now I'm looking for another note that we could add and compose in this measure. Go ahead and yell one out to me. Wow, I heard a half note. That's a great note. Let's add a half note. So we'll add our half note. Now remember, the half note is not colored in, so you're going to see the rhythm line through the center of the note. That's correct. That's what we want to see. So now we have a quarter note and a half note. Well, we know the quarter note gets 1 beat, and we know that a half note gets 2 beats. We also know that this measure has to have 4 beats. So, what could we add here to complete this measure? Go ahead and yell some notes out to me that you think we could use. I heard quarter note, and I also heard beamed 8 notes. And yes, both of those would be correct. So let's keep it simple. Let's just add a quarter note in here. So now let's check ourselves. 1 beat, 2 beats, 1 beat. So 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 plus 1 is 4. So you have now helped me compose this measure. So let's work on this measure, but let's do a different type of note. How about we start with that beamed 8th note that I heard about when we were composing this measure. So remember, those heads of the notes must be drawn on the rhythm line. Yes. So we know that beamed 8th notes get 1 beat total. So what else could we add to this measure? Another beamed 8th note? Sure. So now we'll have 2 beamed 8th notes. And we know that together this equals 1 beat. So now we have 1 plus 1 equals 2. So we know we can have 4 beats in a measure, and we already have 2. So that means we need 2 more. What notes could we use to complete composing this measure? I heard a half note and 2 quarter notes. And both of those options are correct. So let's just double check. 1 plus 1 equals 2. And I added a half note here, which is 2 beats. So 2 plus 2 equals 4. For your assignment in Google Classroom, you are going to need a blank piece of paper and a pencil. I would like for you to redraw these rhythm lines, add your bar lines and your time signature, and I'd like for you to draw 2 separate measures, just like you see up here on the board. And I'd like for you to do this paper pencil. Then, using the notes that we have learned about, I want you to compose each of these measures. So you can use beamed eighth notes. Remember, together they equal 1 beat. You can use quarter notes. Quarter notes equal 1 beat. You can use half notes. Half notes each get 2 beats. Or you could use a whole note, and a whole note gets 4 beats. So what you're going to do is you will compose both measures. Make sure that you are drawing the heads of your notes on that line. And once you have finished, I want you to check yourself, count up your beats, make sure they equal 4 total. Then I'd like for you to take a picture of your work and upload it as an attachment. I cannot wait to see your rhythmic compositions. Thank you for joining me.